These are Lindt filled M&M and white chocolate chunk Christmas cookies with a delicious buttery, light and soft chocolate chip cookie base filled with M&Ms, white chocolate chunks and Lindt. These are the ultimate Christmas cookies. These are so good and they're so easy to make. These are a must try. So let's get into it. The first thing that you're going to want to do is grab a medium-sized bowl, ideally of a standing mixer, and you're going to add in your room temperature butter along with your white and your brown sugar. Now, like every classic cookie recipe, you're going to cream your butters and your sugars together. And you want to do this until they're nice and light and fluffy and creamy. This is what's going to add that light and airy cookie texture. So you're going to let this cream together for about 3 minutes. Now, while your butter and your sugars are creaming together, you're going to grab another medium-sized bowl and you're going to add all of your dry ingredients. So your flours, your cornstarch, your baking soda, your baking powder, and you're just going to mix these all together until they're nice and combined, and then you're going to set them aside. Now, coming back to your butter and your sugars that are being creamed together, at first it's going to look a little bit something like this. So it is combining pretty well, but you're going to want to scrape the bottom of your bowl to make sure that you have all of the butters and all of the sugars and keep mixing it to make sure that you're getting that ultimate light and fluffy texture that you're looking for. So you keep beating it just like this for a few minutes. And you can see here at the top of where the beater is hitting the butter and the sugars, it's kind of a lighter, paler color. That's when you know it's starting to get light and creamy and fluffy. It starts to get a little bit lighter in color. So you might need to scrape your bowl again like I did here, and you're just going to keep beating it until you get a little bit of a lighter color. And you can see here that it is getting lighter and lighter. Now this part is optional, but it does add for that really nice cookie texture, so I highly recommend it. And at this point, this looks pretty much ready. So you're going to add in your vanilla next and your egg, and you're going to mix these to combine. Now I've mentioned this in my previous videos as well. Combining the egg with this cookie batter can be a little bit challenging with the beater of a standing mixer. So often I will do this part manually, just grabbing a rubber spoon and kind of mixing it all together until it's nice and combined. And you can see that the mixture has mixed well together. And once that's combined, you're going to add in all of your dry ingredients that you had mixed together in your medium-sized bowl. And you're going to mix these all together until all of your ingredients are nice and well and combined. And here you can see it's nice and combined. It kind of has like a really soft, buttery texture to it. That's when you know that it's done. So you're going to want to scrape the bottom of your bowl just to make sure that it's all well and combined. And from here, you're going to add about 3/4 of your M&Ms and 3/4 of your white chocolate chunks. I do like to keep some at the end to kind of give it a nice finish on the cookies, but that's totally optional and up to you. And here we're just going to give it a little bit of a mix to make sure that it's all well and combined. And these cookies are ready to be formed. So once your cookie dough is all done, you're going to want to grab a piece of parchment paper to place the cookies on once they've been rolled out. And you're also going to want to grab your scale. From here, you're going to weigh out your cookies to about 100 grams, or at least that's what I did. It's up to you how big you want to make your cookies. But do note, if you make them a little bit smaller or bigger, there will probably be a different baking time. But that's totally up to you. I did mine at 100 grams, and once you weigh them out, you're going to set them aside on your piece of parchment paper. From here, you're going to grab your Lindt chocolates and take them out of the wrapper. And you're going to grab one of your cookie dough balls that's been weighed out. And you're going to flatten this out to about maybe half or a quarter inch flat. Just enough space to be able to place this Lindt chocolate in the middle of your cookie dough. And you're just going to wrap the cookie dough around the Lindt chocolate. Make sure that there's no cracks or no holes around it. What's really nice about this cookie dough is it's super easy to wrap anything around the cookie dough. So just making sure that there's no holes or cracks at the bottom or around the cookie. And you're going to set that aside for a minute and repeat this process with each cookie. Now, once your cookies are all rolled out and they're all filled, you're going to grab the remaining of your M&Ms and your white chocolate chunks, and you're just going to place them on top of the cookie. This is what gives these cookies such a nice, delicious finish at the end, because we all know those cookies that we see that you can tell there's chocolate chips in them, but there's none at the top, and it doesn't make them look quite as appetizing. This is why. Because they're not placing any on top of the cookie before baking it. So this part is optional, but it's highly recommended. So you're just going to sprinkle it out on top of the cookie, and then you're going to want to pop these in the fridge for just about half an hour. Now again, this is optional. However, it is recommended because it helps keep the shape of the cookie as it's baking. But if you don't have time, the cookies will taste just as good. So while those are chilling, you're going to grab yourself a cookie sheet and a piece of parchment paper and lightly grease it. You're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And once the cookies have chilled, you're going to place them on the cookie sheet and you're going to bake these for 13 minutes. Now, of course, everyone's oven is different, so keep an eye on these when you're baking them. You really just want to watch out for that golden brown crispy edge. And usually once you see that, that's a sign that they're done. And once the cookies are done baking, you're going to want to let these set. These do need about 15 to 20 minutes to just sit after they've been baking because they are so buttery and soft on the inside. But look at that crispy edge, that little bit of brown on the white chocolate, and oh, that Lindt filling. These are so delicious. Highly recommend making these for any of your Christmas or holiday events. These are sure to be a crowd pleaser. And as always, if you like this recipe in this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and let me know what kind of recipes you want in the comments.